everyone. Why would I teach my dog to touch my hand? What's the importance of teaching a dog to target? How could I possibly use that? I use it in so many different ways. We're going to go outside in a minute and I'm going to show you how I use touch to teach my dog to come to me faster, to have my dog walk beside me and not pull ahead. I'm going to ask my dog to touch, and my dog is going to come away from the mailman or a rabbit or any distraction out in the yard. And besides all those useful things, touch is so much fun to teach your dog. Next week, and the video will be in the description if it's not already there, it'll be there soon. We're going to teach your dog how to weave through your legs, play peekaboo, crawl, and many other tricks. Teach your dog to go to their mat. Everything can be taught with just teaching your dog to touch your hand. And this is how it starts. I use the back of my hand. Some people use the front. Some people use 2 fingers. Some people use 3 fingers. I just use the back. I think the front looks too much like stay. So I'm going to take the back of my hand. And now if you have a dog that's unsure about touching your hand, then what I do is I take a treat and I put it right under my thumb. So my hand looks like this. And I put my hand right down to my dog. And what am I going to do? I'm going to click. I like the click. You can say yes, or you can use a clicker. I never can find my clicker, so I just use my mouth click, just a little click. And my dogs know when I use a mouth click that they've done something right and they're going to get a treat. So I'm going to take a treat again and I'm going to put it right under my thumb so it looks so you can't even see it. Put the back of my hand right over my dog's nose, and when they touch my hand, I click. When you feel that cold nose touching your hand, and you'll feel it, just do a little mouth click and then open your hand. Now, I don't keep this treat in my hand very long. I'm going to do it one more time. Fold my thumb over. I use very tiny treats. You can't even see the treat. Put the back of my hand above her nose, and I'm going to click. Now, from now on, I'm going to see if I don't have to use a treat. So keep your hand the same way, but no treat there. Put your hand there, and she's going to touch, and I click. The important thing is 2 things. 1, you want to make sure that you click when the nose touches, and 2, tell her how wonderful she is. The more you get excited and tell her what a great girl she is, the more your dog is going to like this game. Once they learn to like it, then you can use it for so many different things. So I'm going to take my hand again. It's right over her nose, back of my hand, and she's touching. Okay, so now I want to move around a little bit and be able to put it in different positions. So we're going to come down off the bench. We're going to come down here on the floor. I'm going to take my hand, nothing in it, and I'm going to ask Nikki to come down here and touch. Okay, now I'm not saying touch yet. Okay, notice I'm feeding with the same hand she touched, but I no longer have it in my hand. So we're going to take my hand again and let her touch it. Okay, and we're going to do it again. And we're going to let her touch it. So she's just moving a little bit, that's all. Over here, good. And I'm going to feed her. Over here, and I'm going to feed her. So she's learning every time she touches my hand, she's going to hear the click, and I'm going to give her a treat. That is step 1. Step 2 is to add the word touch. And I don't add that until my dog is really touching my hand with some enthusiasm. So I'm going to put my hand out again, and I'm going to click when she touches it. Now, when I add the word touch, I add it before I put my hand out. So I would say to her, Nikki, touch. And she went right to touch my hand. So now I know I'm ready to add the word. Nikki, touch. Good job. Good job. And she has to touch somewhere in the back of my hand. All right. Nikki, touch. Good girl. All right. Nikki, touch. Good. Now, she's doing well. Now let's see if she'll touch as I move my hand just a little further. All right, so we're going to go over here. Nikki, touch. Good. Good job. And how about over here? Nikki, touch. Good girl. Missed that though, didn't I? I was talking to you. All right. Nikki, touch. Good. So she's starting to learn. Now, next step is when I'm feeding her the treat, I'm not going to feed it from my hand. I'm going to get her to touch, and then I'm going to toss the treat just a little distance away. Nikki, touch. Good. And I'm just going to toss it over there. So, Nikki, touch. Good. So she comes back a little bit further, and I'm going to toss it over there. And I'm going to say, Nikki, touch. Good. And so I'm going to toss it again. And I'm going to say, Nikki, touch. Good. Can you see how this is going to work to help you to teach your dog to come? Because you can add, I could add Nikki, come, and then as she gets close, say touch when she's coming from a long distance. So now we've added the word touch. We want to increase her desire to touch. Step 3 is to have her touch my hand 2 times before I click. I'm going to say touch each time. So it's going to be Nikki, touch. Good girl. Nikki, touch. And I clicked on the second one. That way, she is learning that she not only touches it once, she can touch it 2 times before she gets the treat. So let's try that again. But we never do 2 in a row. So we're going to do 1 first. So it's going to be Nikki, touch. Good. I'm going to toss it away, let her go out of sight to get it. And then when she comes back, I'm going to say, Nikki, touch. Good girl. Nikki, touch. Good girl. So what happens is I'm going to toss it away again. And remember, this time when she comes back, Nikki, touch. Good. For 1 touch, she gets a treat. So we can do it up here. Nikki, up. Good girl. And we can say, Nikki, touch. Good. We can do it every different position. I can do it sitting. I can do it kneeling. I can do it standing. So all these different positions are important. So now we've taught her touch. We've added the word touch, and we've asked her to touch multiple times before I click. All those things are setting up the foundation for going outside, because the distractions are a lot greater outside. So now we're going to go out and work on come, walking on a leash, and getting her to come away from distractions. Now here is a real life use of getting your dog to touch your hand. The men are outside. They are mowing the grass. You can hear my dogs barking. Does touch really work? Beezy, touch. Good girl, yay, Beezy. And there's a treat for Beezy over there. Good. Nikki, touch. Good girl. So you can see this is real life. Nikki is touching so that she is being redirected away from the men mowing the lawn. Nikki, touch. Good job. So I've got Nikki to stop barking. The men are mowing the lawn, and Nikki is touching my hand. That is a very practical use for touch. Nikki, touch. Good job. Nikki, touch. Good job. Touch. Good girl. When the lawn men are gone, we'll go outside and we'll work with teaching your dog to come faster when you call them, walk on a leash without pulling, and see if we can find some more distractions like the bunny rabbit, to see if we can get my dog to walk past the bunny rabbit instead of lunging at the bunny rabbit. Good job. We're outside now, and we're going to work on come. First thing, we're going to do a little bit more practicing with touch. Nikki, touch. Good job. And we're going to reward her for touching my hand, right? Next thing is we're going to toss the treat away from her after she touches. So I'm going to say, Nikki, touch. Good. And I'm going to toss it just a little ways away. When she picks up the treat, I'm going to say to her, good girl, Nikki, come, touch. Good. And so I've combined touch with come. So we're going to do it again. We're going to say, Nikki, touch. Good. And I'm going to toss the treat so she can go get it. And then I'm going to say to her, Nikki, come, touch. So you can see how it brings her in, brings her straight to me. She doesn't go running past me. And it also is fun because she likes to touch. Now I can throw it further away for her. I'm just going to toss it this time. Tell her, take it. And she's quite a distance away. Now she's eating the treat, and I'm going to call her and say to her, Nikki, come, touch. Good. If you're enjoying this video, please remember subscribe and like. And follow me on my Facebook page, Diamond Dog Training. So we're combining the come and the touch. So that's one way to work with it. That's come. Now, you can also teach a dog to walk right beside you. Instead of luring them with the treat, you can teach them to touch your hand. So you're standing with your dog and you're saying touch, and you're going to feed them so that they're right there. And you're going to turn around and you're going to say to them, touch, and you're going to feed. And you can actually get your dog to follow you. Touch. Good. And so we can now take 2 steps. Nikki, touch. Good. And you can see that she's right there with me. Nikki, touch. Good. Good girl. Touch. Good. Good girl. Good. Touch. Good. Good lady. Come on, over here. Touch. Good. Good girl. Here. Touch. Good. So one way to teach your dog to walk beside you is to teach them to touch your hand. So one of the most important ways that I use touch is to help my dog to redirect them away from a distraction. Can be a person, a dog while we're walking, or it can be my Miss Bunny Rabbit who sits up here on the hill. So what I've taught my dogs is every time we walk down the driveway to take our walk, we practice touch. And so we walk down the driveway, they touch my hand, I feed them, and then we get to the bottom. Sometimes Miss Bunny Rabbit is sitting in the driveway, and it's really hard. Other times she's up on the hill. So here's what we do. So as we're walking down the driveway, Beezy's already looking for the bunny. She's on alert. She says the bunny's down here somewhere. So we're going to see if Beezy will touch. Beezy, touch. And so I'm redirecting them away from the bunny. I'm going to walk a little further and see where the bunny rabbit is, because Beezy knows she's here. I can see her. She's sitting right over there. So we're going to go a little further. Beezy, Nikki, touch. Good, good. And we're going to give them a piece of cheese. Higher value if you have higher distractions. So we're going to go a little further, see where the bunny rabbit is. And as we get down here to the bottom, we're going to do one more time. Nikki, touch. Good. Beezy, touch. Good. So now we're at the bottom of the hill. She's up there. I can see her. She's on the hill. But I've gotten my dogs to go past the bunny rabbit. Now we're going to do the same thing when we get back, because I'm sure that they're going to look for her again as we walk. Well, we just came back in from outside, and you've seen how Nikki came faster because I asked her to touch, walked without pulling, and came away from that crazy bunny that lives on the hill. I hope this has been helpful for you, and you can see how many ways you can use targeting to help you in training your dog. Next week, we work on tricks. Nikki's going to learn to spin, crawl, peekaboo, weave, go to her mat, and other tricks, all using targeting. Thank you. Please remember, subscribe to my channel, ring the bell, leave me a comment. How do you use targeting in training your dog? Thank you from Joyce and Nikki at Diamond Dog Training. Bye-bye.